Hi, welcome to Demon TV. I'm here with Days Leicester Comedy Festival. I'm joined with Matt Crosby.
Hello.
Hello. So how did you find your sketch today?
It was all right. Yeah. It was. It's quite unusual performing in a student union. I tell you what, I've got a problem in my head that I feel like I'm a lot older than all the students. And I probably, if I didn't keep going on about how old I am, if I didn't wear a brown jacket, they'd probably like me a bit more. I'm going to buy some hoodies. That's my next plan.
Fit in with the crowd.
I'm going to buy some hoodies. I'm going to get a Razor scooter, and in fact, what my set is going to be, I'm going to get rid of the anecdotal jokes and just start doing Razor scooter tricks on stage, spinning around on the back wheel. That kind of that's the sort of thing I'm after. Yeah.
I was about to say, how did you enjoy your set with the audience, but
I had a very lovely time. Apart from the bit where I asked a woman what happened when her marriage broke up. But, you live and learn. That's the point of the Leicester Comedy Festival. You've got to preview these ideas. I won't be taking that to other comedy gigs.
So
a bit where I try and workshop with it. I want to move, less comedy, more Jeremy Kyle. Where did your marriage go wrong? What was the problem? What happened? 7 years. Really sure you want to throw it away? Anyway, that's what
make them question their lives.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I want, yeah. I want to make people think.
Okay. So how long have you been into comedy, and was it what you've always wanted to do?
Have I been into comedy? Yeah, I've always been into comedy ever since I was a little kid. I think when I was a little kid especially, I used to, anything that was even vaguely described as comedy, even if I didn't find it funny, I would watch it on telly. I was really interested in it. But yeah, and I've been going to see live comedy since the late 90s, since I was a teenager. Since I was a teenager in the late 2000s, I mean. But for forever, yeah.
Okay. So I was researching you, and you've been doing the Edinburgh Festival and stuff for a very long time.
Yes.
Do you feel like it's changed over time, or are you still as excited or nervous as you were the first years, or are you getting used to it now?
Yeah, personally, I still get every bit as excited. I mean, I've been away for 2 years, and I'm hoping to go back this year. I've been up to see shows because I can't, if it's happening in Edinburgh, you're back in London, you feel like you really are missing out. So I've always been up to see stuff, and I've done a few bits and bobs up there. But I still get every bit as excited. I still get nervous as well because it's a brand new show. You've got to go, you write a show, you have hopefully you tour it or you take it around to different clubs, and you have really good fun performing it. And every time you perform it, you get sort of the idea of where it came from, how you came to write it, sort of disappears a little bit. You sort of go, how did I ever? I know I've got an hour of stand-up now, but how do I write a brand new hour? So it is nerve-wracking.
So how long does it take you to come up with new concepts and stuff, or does it just either springs into your head or does it?
I mean, yeah, it sort of takes you up until whenever the first show is, and then you just you have to do it. You have to. I mean, so you kind of try and come up with ideas throughout the course of the year, but then the closer Edinburgh gets, the more you sort of go, well, what is this show going to be about? What I'm actually going to write.
Okay. So when you do go to festivals, do you visit a lot of other people's shows as well, or do you only go to your own ones?
I hope I do. At least I show up to my own ones. Yeah. It depends. It just depends. This festival, because it's kind of close enough to London. I'm here on Wednesday and Saturday, so I'll drive here today and then go back and then do it again on Saturday. But Edinburgh, I go and see. Yeah, in fact, that's part of the reason to do it, is to go and see what everyone else has been working on over the course of the year. It's and it's good as well if you can kind of. It's quite tricky as well because obviously you're up there with your own show, so you don't want to just you don't want to compare yourself to other people. You don't want to be going, oh, that's. But if you can get over the fact that there's going to be lots of people who are better than you, then that's all right. Yeah, but I do try as much as I can. Yeah.
I saw you were on programs like 8 out of 10 Cacks, Never Mind the Buzzcocks. Do you prefer being on a program with other comedians so you can bat off them, or do you prefer being on stage, stand up?
That's interesting. I think the pressure of being on a panel show is a little bit heightened, so I don't necessarily enjoy that. It's quite nerve-wracking. Some of my favourite moments on stage have been when I've been on stage with other people. I do sketch comedy with two other people. I forget their names, and neither of them are in the room right now. That's all I know. But I think those are very, very exciting moments, and that's the other good thing about we do a podcast where we have our friends on, and those kind of moments are, I think, some of my favourites. I also as well on a good night of stand up, it won't just be me talking; it'll be me chatting to the audience as well. You know, preferably not about their divorces, but you know, that's kind of those are my favourite bits where you feel like you're creating something that wouldn't have existed in any other gig. I think those are the most exciting moments.
Do you find it hard, like when you don't have a responsive audience, to, or like I suppose if you?
You know, I sort of do and I sort of don't. Like I do. I mean, I don't know. I like quite. Oh, I don't know. How do I put this? I don't. It's not like I like dying, but I think it's quite funny. You know, I think it's
not the struggle.
Not even the struggle, but I sort of like the fact that it's not going well. You know, you think, oh, I've just spent the effort it's taken me to write these things down, to come and do, you know, to travel all the way to come and do it, and you're not enjoying it. There's something very funny about that. I mean, obviously, I don't want all my gigs to go that way, but it can be quite enjoyable. Like you know, tonight it was fine. I had a you know a fine time, but it was quite funny watching Tom at the back of the room when a thing didn't, because he's seen me do stand up a bunch of times. When a thing doesn't quite go as well, it's always fun to look over at him and go, right, this, you know, we know how this should go, but tonight, not so much. But yeah. Okay. So I like, you know, it's not something that bothers me. I think the problem is I like showing off and I like the sound of my own voice. So I'll just keep talking.
Just keep going.
Just keep talking until like, all right, well, I've done 15 minutes. I should probably leave for your sake rather than for mine. I get a lot more out of it than some of my audiences do, yeah. So
what other, are you doing any other shows at the Leicester Comedy Festival?
So I did the show tonight for the Student Union, and we're just about to go over, and Tom and I are going to split an hour. So we're going to do a half hour each. So that's, hopefully that will become the show that I take to the Edinburgh Festival and then potentially back to Leicester next year when it's finished. And then we're doing a show with Pappies on the Saturday night at the Y in Leicester, which is just a kind of a half hour. It's like a mixed bill club night like tonight. But that should be good fun.
All right.
But fingers crossed anyway.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Cheers. Thanks a lot.